After sitting on death row, Robert Springsteen's attorneys today made another attempt to get his name officially cleared in the 1991 yogurt shop murders.
They made 20-minute oral arguments this morning in the Court of Appeals to ask for a hearing. That hearing would allow them to prove his innocence, they say, and have it declared on record. The Travis County prosecutors were also there to make their argument. They say Springsteen is still a suspect. If he's ever declared innocent, Springsteen could receive more than $700,000. His attorneys say there is much more to it.
It's not just money at stake. This is hanging over his head like the sword of Damocles. This is, every morning he has to wake up, it's there.
Springsteen was one of two men convicted of the murders, only to have the conviction overturned. Michael Scott is also trying to move on with his life. Chris Sadeghi spoke with his attorney about this case, his client, and evidence he says has not been publicized.
Mind you, I haven't seen this in, I don't know, since '09, I guess.
He dug up old files, looked through them again. But the words yogurt shop always stick with attorney Tony Diaz.
But for me,
not just for the brutal murder of 4 young girls, but also what happened to 4 young men.
I'm 58 years old, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Milestone in the defense of Mike Scott.
He was there beside Michael Scott 7 years ago when he walked from jail after DNA led to dismissed charges, and there with Scott's family at Wednesday's hearing. In his office is a picture of Scott's equivalency diploma and his new life.
Please don't count Mike out, because I am convinced that he's innocent.
He shared with us why.
But this is infallible. The public hasn't seen this, and they don't want him to see it.
Still sharp in his mind and laid out in a PowerPoint is the DNA evidence taken from victim Amy Ayers that did not match Scott, Robert Springsteen, or anyone. But because they've not retried the case, Diaz says more DNA evidence has never been heard. Evidence from the Harbison sisters showing 2 other profiles that also did not match known suspects.
It's enough that you have 1, but here we have 3.
Though charges were dropped, the DA's office still considers Scott and Springsteen suspects. Diaz thinks it's a way to avoid the embarrassment of the DNA evidence at trial and also avoid the cost of exoneration.
To say that they're still suspects, yet not pursue them, is, I think, almost tantamount to an act of cowardice.
Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
We checked to see how much money the Texas Comptroller's Office has paid out to people who were wrongfully convicted. From 1992 through the 2016 fiscal year, the state has paid out $69 million. In 2015, $2.7 million was paid, and that's about the same as in 2014. The Comptroller's Office says the money comes from the General Money Appropriations Fund.